Hello students, today we are going to study a very interesting poem from your syllabus of class 10th and the poem's name is Fog. Fog, students, you know very well that the fog is a natural phenomena. In winter especially what happens that the water vapors that are there in air, those water vapors condense and they take the form of small water droplets and this causes the fog. And during fog everything becomes so much hazy, we are not able to see through the things. Fog covers each and everything in the nature, and its arrival, its departure, that is not predicted. We cannot predict, we cannot think about when it will come and when it will go. So the poet Carl Sandburg, he has taken the same natural phenomena and he has written a very small poem. So here we'll study the poem, its explanation along with its figures of speech. But before starting the poem, we'll go through the biography of the poet himself. So about the poet, students, Carl August Sandburg, who was born in 6 January 1878 and lived up to 22nd of July 1967. He was an American poet. He was a biographer. Biographer, I think you know very well that biographer is a person who writes the life story of another people. Another people's life story he write. He was also a journalist as well as an editor. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, where 1 Pulitzer Prize is a lifetime achievement. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry and 1 for his biography of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the famous figure, you know. And during his lifetime, Sandburg was widely regarded as a major figure in contemporary literature. Contemporary mean of the same period. When he lived, he was the major literary figure of that time, especially for his volume of poetry, that is Chicago Poems, from which the poem has been taken. Poem 4 has been taken from Chicago Poems in 1916. Cornhuskers, that was written in 1918, and Smoke and Steel. So what have we known about the poet? That he was an American poet, he was a leading poet, he won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, he wrote the biography of Abraham Lincoln. Before starting any poem, before reading any poem, you should know whose poetry you are reading. So here we are reading the poetry of Carl August Sandburg, an American poet. Now about the poem. Fog is probably Carl Sandburg's best known poem. A very small one but a very famous poem, and has been a popular choice for study since it was first published in Chicago Poems in 1916. Despite of its being very short, many people have chosen it for study. Sandburg was inspired to write it one day out walking near Chicago's Grand Park. He was walking somewhere, he had with him a book of Japanese haiku. Students, haiku is a kind of poem having 3 lines only. In 3 lines, we have short 17 syllable. 17 syllable. Syllable is a sound unit of the word. Like in doctor, we have 2 sound units, doctor. So one word is consisting 2 syllables. So in haiku, there are only 17 syllables. You can think about the words. They may be 10, 11, 12. And these haiku poems, what do? They capture essence of the natural world. They are about nature. So poet was carrying a book on haiku and he was on his way to meet someone and had some spare time. He was going to meet someone. He had some spare time. Spare time, free time. Because that person that was perhaps not available. So he wrote fog. And during that waiting period, he wrote fog. Enveloped what is essentially a haiku into something more. And he created a kind of haiku. Haiku is in 3 lines and this poem is in 6 lines. Fog is a poem that reflects Sandburg's interest in the natural world and beautifully captures a moment or two when the fog came moving in over the harbour waters, a powerful image given life through a metaphorical cat. So the poem Fog, that is just about a natural phenomena, how fog comes, how it covers the whole world and how it stealthily and very silently goes away. And he has shown that interest in nature. He has captured 1 or 2 moments. Here the poet has compared fog with a cat. He has compared the moment of fog with that of a cat. So the poem can be called an extended metaphor. throughout the poem, the poet has compared fog with cat. So now we'll go through the poem and you'll be very happy to look at the poem. That is a very small poem. Fog. Yes, student, this is your poem of only 6 lines. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbour and city on silent haunches and then moves on. The fog comes. Poem structure wise has been divided into 2 stanzas. In the very beginning, the poet says that the fog comes on little cat feet. That the fog comes, yes, on little cat feet. Fog has been given feet, and that too of a cat. So the poet has compared fog with a cat. Fog comes like a cat. Just as a cat comes, same way the fog comes. And why there is a similarity? As I have already told you that in metaphor there must be some similarity point, and that similarity point is the silence of the moment. When a cat comes, we are not able to notice the sound of its feet. Same way the fog comes very silently, very stealthily, and nobody can even notice its arrival. It sits, looking over harbour and city on silent haunches and then moves on. It sits. It sits for some time, it waits for some time, it rests for some time, and it looks over. Harbour. Harbour is the seaport. Seaport where ships come and from where the ships go into the sea. And city, and also it looks at the city. So the scene is that of some city near some harbour, near some seashore, and the fog that is totally covered, that is looking over, it means the fog has totally covered the harbour, the seaport, as well as the city on silent haunches. It seems as if the fog is on silent haunches. Haunching is a kind of sitting position where a person sits on the bent knees. When we bend our knees and on that we sit, then this is called haunching. So it seems as if the fog is sitting there silently. It means the fog rests there, the fog uh, stops there for some time. As if you have seen in as you have seen in nights in your neighborhood, you must have seen that at the time of generally evening, the fog comes, it stops or it remains up to morning, and after some time, after morning, in the morning, it silently melts away, like it goes away. It goes away as silently as it came. So the fog is sitting there as if a cat is sitting there, and it is looking over the harbour and the city. Mean it has totally covered the harbour and the city, and then silently as it came, it goes away. So this was a very small poem. The poet has explained the arrival and the departure of the fog in simple words. We can understand it just as a cat comes to our house, a cat sits there, a cat looks at the things, and then the cat goes away. In the same way, the fog comes, the fog remains at the place for some time, it silently comes, it remains there, and after covering everything, after observing everything, it silently goes away. That is the moment of the fog. So I think you have understood the poem. This is just a natural poem. There's no moral message, there's no meaning except a natural phenomena. Students, there are some poems that are just for reading, that are just for enjoying. Every poem does not contain a moral message. So here we have seen a natural phenomena. The poet, he was waiting for someone and he saw that atmosphere and he wrote the poem. His poetic sensibility was stirred up and he wrote the poem. So about the tough word meanings, fog you know very well, and I have explained that is a natural phenomena when a lot of water droplets, condensed water droplets, they mix in the air and the air become very much hazy and it become very hard to see through. Then the harbour, that is the seaport, where the seashore at the port, and the haunching is a sitting position when a person sits with knees bent down knees and he is sitting, that is haunching position. And if we talk about the literary terms or the figures of speech, first one, the whole poem is an extended metaphor, because in the whole poem the fog has been compared with cat. If in one line it is compared, then it is metaphor, and if in the whole poem it is has been compared, then it is an extended metaphor. Then free verse. Free verse is a poem that does not have any rhyme scheme. Here no line is rhyming with the another, so the poem is free verse. And enjambment also is there. Enjambment, when the one sentence carries over to the another line, second line without any pause, without any punctuation, that is enjambment. So students, I hope that you have understood the poem, you have enjoyed the poem, and you now have understood that there are something in literature that are not to be understood, that are just to be enjoyed. So go through the poem once again, enjoy it, read it, go through the literary terms, learn the word meanings, and keep learning. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.